FTX Japan looks to unfreeze client funds and allow withdrawals. This is sourced from B in Crypto. FTX Japan has announced plans to allow customers to withdraw funds from the exchange soon, meaning they will be among the first to get their money back. The Japanese customers' assets should not be treated as the firm's property. This is quoted from the law firm representing the FTX group. And the following is a quote: "Our engineering teams are working to allow FTX Japan users to withdraw their funds. Re-enabling the withdrawal service is our top priority, and we are grateful for your understanding and support." My name is David. I'm joined with Robin, and today we're giving you an update on FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, what he had to say in the Twitter Spaces. Let's start off with FTX Japan, Robin. Are you surprised? Well, of course, we can both agree that this is a good thing, of course, if you're a client of FTX Japan. But are you surprised that being that this company was filed for bankruptcy, that this is being allowed in the country of Japan? And should we see something similar happen in the U.S. with FTX.US?
I mean, we should. If you have the funds there, if client assets are on a platform that's halted trading and they're all accounted for, they're all there, then let the people take their money out, right? And that's what we're seeing in Japan. Why not see it here in the U.S.? I mean, I would have a suspicion that because the bankruptcy filing is here in the United States and FTX.US is for U.S. customers, perhaps there's some kind of legality issues in there that are preventing the FTX platform from releasing assets to their owners. But I think there's got to be a workaround for that, right? And it also calls into question, the broader regulation, because Japan is known for pretty stringent crypto regulation. They only allow, I think it's 12 or 13 different cryptos to be available for trade by the exchanges. And so their mentality is, hey, we want transparency, we want regulation, we want oversight on the exchanges. And hey, if all the assets are on FTX.Japan, then they did something right? And so if we had the same regulation on a broader scale globally here in the US, we shouldn't be seeing the implosion that we saw there. And so everyone talks about regulation being a bad thing. This is an example of the accountability that regulation has. So at least when it comes to centralized entities,
Yeah. I mean, like you mentioned, if the assets are there, instead of blowing it on these bankruptcy lawyers and paying hundreds of millions of dollars, let the people get their money back. Before we get into what Miss Maxine Waters had to say, Sam Bankman-Fried was on a Twitter Spaces yesterday. He was partly being interrogated, partly being asked questions, partly being told that they believe he's not an evil person. What was your biggest takeaway from that Twitter Spaces yesterday? For me, it was the fact that he essentially said, for FTX users, when you deposited money into your FTX account, the value amount you saw on your dashboard was not backed by any real token. That Bitcoin that you saw, you had one Bitcoin on your FTX account, that Bitcoin was not on FTX. That Bitcoin was not even probably on Alameda. And so that was my biggest takeaway, is essentially trading fake money, having fake value in front of you and your dashboard. What was your biggest takeaway, Robin?
Yeah, I think that was pretty big statement on his end. I think we all had our suspicions, with Alameda Research and their marketplace that they had. What was it called? Liquid, right?
Liquid.
So between the three entities there was all kinds of manipulation where people were expecting that they had artificial tokens or fake tokens out there. And to know firsthand, per what he said, that was on FTX, the big platform, that they had fake Bitcoin as an example. He didn't say a particular token. He basically suggested that the tokens were, that the idea like, hey, yeah, we don't have the tokens backed 1-to-1 that are on the exchange trading, but we still custody them, we still own them. And so his kind of premise was, hey, they're on cold storage, they're not on the exchange. But if they're on cold storage and not on the exchange, you have say 1,000 Bitcoin that are in a USB stored somewhere else, you have them represented as real Bitcoin on an exchange, and then that's where it ends there with his explanation. But realistically, he probably had fake Bitcoin that wasn't represented anywhere. He probably had his order books stuffed to the brim with fake Bitcoin and fake Ethereum and fake Solana. And that's kind of how that company ran, and that's how they got into such a big issue. And that's why when people went to draw their crypto out and take all their funds, they had misappropriated the funds, and the funds that were there weren't even real. And that's why they had to stop halting trading, was because you couldn't withdraw something that doesn't exist.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you withdraw, you're taking the token and putting it onto an on-chain address. So fake tokens on the exchange that are not real can't be withdrawn. And so that's why we had halted trading. And I don't know, man. I think going back to regulation, at least to like, hey, some kind of accountability where like, hey, you have this amount of Bitcoin on your loan books and your order books and in your treasury assets as an exchange. Where's the wallet address? And let's figure out a way to verify that you own that wallet address and that they are there. And then just keep an eye on them with the blockchain. It's very simple. It's not, you're not asking for some crazy accounting here. Now, regulation should be a little bit more broad to encompass liabilities and debt, leverage. Now that I think is a little bit more complex, but on the most simplest form, we should know, hey, if you have 10,000 Bitcoin on your exchange being traded, let's make sure you have 10,000 Bitcoin.
I mean, sounds pretty logical. Now, are you, by the way, if you want to learn more about FTX or Sam Bankman-Fried, or you just want to know what the hell's going on, make sure to hop over to our YouTube channel. Go over to playlists, and in there you will find a specific Sam Bankman-Fried saga step-by-step. Make sure to go check that out. Now, Robin, Sam has been on this tour de media, right? The mainstream media has essentially propped him up as a man who made a mistake, a good guy who made some bad decisions. But the people that have been following this and understand and know that this was, in fact, on purpose, it was fraud, it's criminal. Are you happy with the answers he's giving and making his essentially way around all these different news outlets and Twitter spaces? Do you think he's hurting himself more, or do you think it's good and it's giving clarity to the people in the space that need answers?
Well, I mean, it's good he's not in hiding. I think we'd been a little bit more frustrated if FTX filed for bankruptcy and all we got was a jumble of letters on Twitter and we just no longer saw or heard from him. And you take Do Kwon, for example. I mean, he kind of disappeared, right? Mashinsky, they disappeared. And they've been pretty silent. Now, I know they've had some PR, some discussions, but they haven't really been vocal in discussing what happened with the failure of their projects. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried, the dude's a fraud. He has stolen money. He has repeatedly lied. So I'm not saying, my thoughts aren't in any way in defense of the man. It is admirable that he is stepping up to the questions, because he knows the questions aren't going to be easy. He knows that people are looking for answers and that they.
But why is it admirable that he's answering questions?
I'm just saying that compared. I'm saying that compared to other CEOs, founders, and the face of different companies, people like to go into hiding, and at least he's going out and interviewing. And I mean, you can look at it and be like, yeah, I don't know. What do you want to go straight to jail and not answer any questions? Like,
this is, in my opinion, this is all part of a master plan to parade Sam out there, make him seem like a good guy. Hey, when they go to court, it's going to say, look, he's not a criminal. Would a criminal be willingly open to go out and
dude,
go
if you're
public?
talking about court, he's literally painting himself into a corner. He has tons of insight into the company that lawyers would tell him, like, please stop talking. If anything, he's digging himself a deep hole, man. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe he's trying to fix his image. There can't be any logical benefit to this from an outside conspiracy theory. Like, give me, there's no way. He liked the limelight. He liked the light being on him. He liked being the go-to guy, the savior, and it all came crashing down at him. And now he's trying to do damage control. He's delusional. He thinks he can repair everything. He thinks he can get back to the top. And he's trying to repair his image. And he's delusional if he thinks that's going to work.
You watching, what do you think? You think this is all part of a plan to make him seem like he's innocent, or do you agree with me, or do you agree with Robin that this is just in his personality and he likes the limelight? That'll do it for the video today. Come join us Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for our daily live show. Until the next video, friends, take care. Peace.